Answer! Answer, do you read? You're fuzzy, answer! Oh, there you are, you're not fuzzy at all anymore. Hello, everyone, this is Commander Nevzat of the Basil One, and I'm in orbit around the planet Werndoald. Oh, that is correct. Yeah, boy, it's been a pretty phenomenal and amazing few days. Well, 2 days, really. Well, few days because the first day was sort of flying in, and you know how exciting that is. That's like when you're on vacation and you're driving into that, from that road trip, and you're coming into that location. Well, that was what it was like that first day. But I've been here for 2 days, orbiting, and 2 days about 2 days on either side for this one, for whatever that means. Now, this is a warning. I'm so excited. This transmission is going to get a little technical. So this one is particularly for you nerds out there, you dorks, you geeks, you dork geeks and nerds and whatever you call yourselves. And for the rest of you, you're all welcome to join. I promise it will be very interesting either way, or you might want to just go look at something more popular. So, so let's review, shall we? I mean, we are in Werndoald. What is Werndoald? If you don't, well, I'm sure you remember, boy, hopefully you've been following the ANSA Twitter, but it is a hollow planet. It is like the hollow Earth theory, but it's real. There's something about NARF space that allows this to exist here. Let's look at the pictures, shall we? We have some pictures that you, some of which you might be familiar with. So there's. We'll go to the first picture, which is which you might remember from weeks ago. This was our first image of Werndoald in space. And that's when we noticed that it had these sort of 2 holes in it, and the holes looked really, really black. They looked dark, but actually that's not true. This Werndoald is orbiting around a single sun, and those are openings in the planet that is lush with life. That is right. I cannot begin to explain. I can begin to explain, and I'll do it now. But the reason why it's black, I know, is because from such a far distance, it looked as though it was dark inside, but it was just an effect of the lens. It's actually quite bright in there. It has 1 sun, but if you think about it, it does rotate on its axis, so that means that inside, most of the people, or life, if there is it receives 2 days and 2 nights. And there are some portions of the planet that receive no day and no night. It's just incredible. I have some close-up images right now. We have extreme close-ups. First, we have an extreme close-up of the exterior of the planet. And as you can see, boy, it is rocky. It is basically just like very rocky. It's like an asteroid almost out there. That's a close-up of the exterior of the planet Werndoald. Once again, that's crazy. So that's uninhabitable. There might be a little bit. There might be a little bit of atmosphere out there, but only a residual atmosphere. The main atmosphere is inside the planet itself. Think of a residual atmosphere. Think of it like someone entered the room and they maybe had a lot of body odor, and then they leave, and then it still kind of smells. Like that's my analogy. All right. So meanwhile, we have some close-up images of the planet now, specifically of the region in the hole, in the one the anterior, the closest to us. And here it is. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? It is we see 2 regions right next to each other, a very deserty region, and then a more lush region that obviously is teeming with not only life but civilization It's phenomenal. We have an extreme close-up of some of these two regions. The first is an extreme close-up of the desert region, and there it is. Oh my gosh. That is dirty and dry, and boy, that looks really hot. Doesn't that look hot? Whoo! I'm just getting sweaty thinking about it. Oh, that's got to be a hot region. And now we also have an extreme close-up of the more lush environment, and there it is. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty extreme close-up. I think that the zoom was a little too zoomy, but obviously there's like some kind of tree life there. Just incredible, just fantastic. I mean, imagine the life that just must be living there. Hopefully it's friendly. Hopefully it's not like flesh eating. And by that I mean human flesh eating, because that's really scary to me. That's really frightening. So let's see. I'm gonna go down into the chat and see what we got here. Oh, it looks like I have a little I have a question from little Benji B. Oh, in an email. He's not in the chat, so the rest of you are going like, well, I don't see that. No, he's an email. How is there an atmosphere in Werndoald? Well, that's interesting. We were just talking about that. What a coincidence. So Benji B, Benji B, I'm reading, is still not sure about the whole atmosphere. Right, well, we're not sure exactly how it works. I mean, on Earth, obviously, Earth physics, the physics as we know it, there's centripetal force and centrifugal force, and the hydrostatic equilibrium and shell theorem keep all of this from being possible. But the thing about science, the great thing about science is about the truth. It is about always questioning the reality and defining things as best we can and finding truth in that. And obviously we have a different truth out here in NARF space. I'm going to post some links to shell theorem and how that's just a load of hogwash when it comes to planet Earth, because the Earth is round and it is floating in space in orbit around the sun. But meanwhile, so if you're going to put your imagination anywhere, put it here and now on Werndoald, I tell you. But to help little Benji B understand a little more accurately what Werndoald is, I've got some visual aids, some three-dimensional visual aids. So here's a potato, right? And you can see the potato. It's round and it's got like little nobules because this potato got left out in the galley. There were a whole bunch of potatoes, potato skins in particular. After the last transmission, but this is a solid core, and what we need to do is just sort of like that. That's good. So like now. I don't like that. I don't like losing that as a demonstration. I'm gonna use an apple instead, because an apple tastes good, and an apple has like a thin shell around it, right? And if we can imagine that there are two sort of holes in this shell, one, and the other, and you can try to see like the star, and as it orbits around the sun, you can see how it kind of goes in now. But this is solid, and the shell is really thin. I mean, this isn't such a good analogy because this is I'm not really highlighting how hollow it is. This isn't hollow, it's an apple, right? So here, maybe an orange is better, because an orange has that sort of thick thing going, right? So let's try that. I can't even get that going there. All right, what else do we have around here? Oh, here we go. There, that's it. This has a shell, and we just got to get the innards out of it, and then you're gonna absolutely have a good visual as to what the planet Werndoald is like. So, eggy, sort of snotty, but there it is. There's Werndoald. See, we have one hole on one side, one opening, and then another opening on the other side. Werndoald, they're not quite opposite each other, but here you get the idea. And inside, in that white, That is where life exists, and the atmosphere is contained inside this hollow shell. And as it rotates, you see how certain areas get more light at certain times and darkness at other times. It's amazing, isn't it? It's phenomenal. It's just a little snotty. So that is it. That is Werndoald for us. All right, I'm gonna check calculations and see how we are. We are just a few minutes away from landing. That is right. This whole ship is going to separate into two sections, and one section is going to zoom on down to Werndoald and land on the planet. That's amazing. Now, I have a question for you in the chat right now. Where should we land? Should we go into the excuse me, a little eggy there. Should we go into the section of the planet that is more densely populated, it seems like? I mean, I'm going to try to move away from that to land in a less dense area. But should we go into the forested region, or should we go into the desert? Type it now in the chat, and I'll set those coordinates. In the meantime, I've got to ready Basil One for separation. You notice right now that the Basil One control module is, well, sounding a little different, isn't it? Well, that's because the Basil One, we're in the Basil One, well, all right, let me pull back. The Spody paperfold drive has been keyed down. It's dormant. We have it in just sort of a low setting. And now we are on the stability and maneuver drives. That's the S&M drives. That's what we're working on. That allows us to sort of, get a more fine-tuned orbit. Now the S&M drives, they run on FARTS. This is flatulous ambular retanculars, which is not funny. So what I want to do now is I want to show you the separation and landing procedure that is going to happen today in just a few moments in a simulated fashion, because we don't have cameras, we don't have another camera ship outside of the Basil One filming us, so you're not going to be able to see from the outside. So we have some very expensive animations and simulations that we've set up to show you exactly what is about to happen. So, let me explain what's going to happen. We have the Basil One ship right here. This is the Basil One ship. This is an animation of the Basil One ship. You've seen this before because we use this, in another way. And well, let's talk about the components of the big Spody, we call it, the big Spody, the BOC module. That's the Basil One control module. That is up further. This is the, what is this here, down here? This is the, where are we? Yeah, okay, here we go. This is the BOC module, the Basil One control, with the Spody paperfold drive is right here down in the bottom. You see that, it's on full burn here right now, but that's just in the picture. Then we move up here to, a little bit more, there's the stability and maneuvering drive. That's what we talked about just now. The S&M drive that runs on flatulous ambulous retanculars, farts, which is not funny at all. And then right above that, we have the CQC, which is the crew quarters and communications. That's right there. You can see those little antennas sort of popping out of there, and that's an interesting place. That's where I spend most of my time, or did up until today. And then right above that, the section right here, it looks a little like a frisbee. That is the ZZTNLCJ, the zigzag joining compartments, top and lower compartments. I'm gonna explain this section later. This is the crux of what's happening in today's transmission and what's happening today. All of the hope of this mission relies on this situation here. So then above it here, we have the little Spody. We have the little Spody spaceship, and I have a special animation. I have a special animation for that. And here is the little Spody. You see that? Oh, what a beaut! What a beaut she is. And this is the module that is going to break off from the big Spody, the big Basil One, and head straight down onto the planet. Let's talk about the sections, shall we? So here, right at the bottom here, we have the little S&M drive. It's shown here in full burn. Then right above that, we have the reaction control system, the RCS, which we shorten, we call that the safe word. And then right up here we have the ICC, which is, what do you think that stands for? Ice cream cone, because it looks like a cone, right? Because we at ANSA like to believe we have a sense of humor. So, and then right at the top of the cone there, we have you see a little antenna off of there. That's the duh antenna. That's the directional unilateral hello antenna. Directional unilateral hello, because we can say hello to whomever we want with that, or we like to believe we can, or we try to anyway. We send out different frequencies. Yeah, you've seen that. You've seen that show. But right now, both ships are still together. We have not separated, not at all. We are almost in position. Almost in position. I'm going to see what we have here. Right. So now, let's talk about separation. Let's talk about that little piece of the ZZTNLGCJ section, the zigzag section that separates the two vehicles. Now, I have an artist rendering animation that's very expensive that ANSA spent a lot of, hired a marketing company to come up with, to design for us. It's more of like a diorama, like old school. If you look at the old school Apollo 11 missions, before technology was the way it is today, anyways, this is phenomenal, but it's going to really explain, especially maybe little Benji B, who maybe has some visualization issues, and that is fine, Benji B. I know I do as well. We all do. Sometimes we just need a little visuals, you know, to get things rolling. So here's this ZZTN, the TNLCJ diorama mechanism. So this represents the two components of the Basil One. This here's the ice cream cone section. Just use your imagination on that. And this is the big spody up here above. This is the regular the big ship. So this artist rendering representational animation diorama of the components. We have the DDS de-docking separation system, which is right in here. Now, the first aspect of that is something we call the fly mechanism, the FLY mechanism. It's a clasp locker. A clasp locker that will engage by disengaging, separating, and it just opens up. It just separates the two areas for better for full separation. Now that's it. Now here this is I pulled off that whole part of the ship so that we can zoom in on this section right here, because right now we still have an atmospheric containment, and we need to get rid of that. But technically that isn't the case. Technically the ships will still be right next to each other because of inertia, right? You can look up inertia. I'm not going to go into that. So what we have now is what's called an MCOS, which is a modular can opening separation system, and what that does is that actually breaks the solid seal, so there's no longer atmospheric impenetrability. And then once this is released, all sorts of craziness happens. Let's see if I can get this to release before the next section engages, and that timing is very critical indeed. But you see, okay, so we have atmospheric separation from the MCOS module, and the next, so once that happens, this piece just floats out into space. There's a little jet that just sort of sends it off to the side, and we have what is a BST, a bendy straw thing. And this bendy straw thing separates out. It should be this other direction. That was a flaw. Separates out, and that allows the injection system, which is the T.W, which is the Werner injection burner, to engage, to light up. And there's a simulation of how that's. Oh my God! Oh, okay. So yeah, that burns. Whoa, that burns. That's what it's going to be like. And that injection burn, that Werner injection burn. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, yeah, that just did that, didn't it? That just did that. Okay. All right. We have a fire burn. 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 All right, we have a fire burn. It's happening right now. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, we have a fire burn. We have a fire burn. And that is, taken under control. Okay, we got that under control. Wow. Okay, that, we're not going to do that again. Okay. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. That was just a test. And now we can move on with the rest of the system here. I'm going to check down in the chat and see if where we're headed. Are we headed down to the desert rather? And let's see. We got little Jimmy Jewel. Oh, I thought he would say graphic. Yeah, well, it was a full-on animation, right? Oh, thank you for I'm glad you liked that last photo. I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah. The Earth is a little more pear-shaped, right? I mean, because things get squashed, and so maybe the egg is also appropriate to this situation. We're gonna find out. We're gonna science all the heck out of this planet, ASAP. Yeah, Commander, I'm here now. I can hear you, Major Tom, and that's awesome. Oh, that you're mentioning this song, because I have a song later that I want to sing for you here shortly. But I need to check and see. I could take the battery out, but I think it's connected directly into the electrics of the Basil One, so there's no way to disengage that. For safety's sake, because batteries run out, right? But the Basil One, nothing ever goes wrong with the Basil One, as we've experienced. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult all the engineers that worked so hard on that system. Okay, so I still don't know whether we are going into the green. Okay, we want little Jack, little GSJ wants us to go down into the green area to see the life forms. All right. Little GSJ, we're gonna do that for you. That's where we're headed. All right, I'm gonna make sure that we set down in a less populated region, though, so the less rubbernecking, the better, right? All right, here we go. Okay, so one thing I want to mention when we go into the DDS, the de-docking separation, there will be 7 minutes of terror. And by terror, I mean I'm going to be scared so much that I've got my space diapers on, but you are just going to see blackness. You're just going to see an empty screen. I say 7 minutes, but it is, on your end, for me, it's about that much. For you, it's more like, well, I don't know, 15 seconds, you know, depending on which side of the paper you do your math problems. So, but we will lose contact, and then hopefully we will resume transmission. All right. I have another question for you in the chat. I'm just curious. This is very exciting, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be. We do not know. None of us know right now what is going to happen once I land on Werndoald. And I want to know from you, do you want it to be a happy ending? Or do you want it to be maybe a more suspenseful ending? Something that it just has a little bit more cliffhanger in it, if you know what I mean. So type down in the chat right now whether you want a happy ending or maybe something that isn't so much a happy ending. It looks like we're T-minus 15 seconds to launch. And I need to ready the system here. I need to get things set up. I need to make sure that the angular reticular slides. Okay, there we go. What did I just do? Yeah, no, that was wonderful. I just set something up there. I don't even know what that was. I was just making sure the environmental controls were engaged. Okay, so now I'm not gonna be able to type in the or connect the visuals from the HDX VDGs, my goggles, so that you will not be able to see what I see outside the ship during this landing. The reason why that is because they took a poll at ANSA, and during the 7 minutes of terror, the ANSA personnel thought it would be more interesting to watch me go up in a blaze of glory rather than just see the transmission cut out in space. So the camera is going to be set on yours truly. Thanks, ANSA. I salute you. I'm not military, but for some reason I've started saluting since last week, and I don't know what that is. No, we are an international organization, as you know, the Administration of National Space Administrations. All right, the time is nigh. We are preparing for separation actual. Preparing for separation actual. Getting things ready for that. We are We are about on mark. Things are building up a bit. I need to check coordinates. I need to check systems. I need to make sure everything is set and ready. I need to get my system in check. It looks as though things are happening. Preparing for DDS lock separation. I'm checking the chat one more time before we head out into things. Looks like little Jimmy Jewel wants a cliffhanger. Jimmy Jewel says no happy endings. The cliffhanger at the ending of 7 Minutes of Terror, and little GSJ also agrees with that. Space Force. May the Space Force be with us all, yes? All right. I'm going to check the environmental control systems, the EVQJs, one more time here, and get this rolling. It looks as though the coordinates are set, and we are T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch background system engaged. On my mark. Mark. All right, that's preparing for DDS, deep docking separation. It's building up. We're readying for it now. Ready for the flatulous ampulous retanculars. Oh, there it goes. That is not funny at all. All right, next up, we are preparing for the TEM, the transposition extraction maneuver. And I say, let her rip. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a long one. That was a long one. We're right into the transmitter anti-burner injection burn. Here it comes. Oh, and we are in the big S. We are on the big S. We are down. We are down and rolling. Things out. Oh my goodness! I forgot about the song. I forgot about my song. I've got to play the song now. I gotta figure out where the song is. Hold on, just 1 second here. Okay, I'm gonna play the song now. Oh. All right, here we go. Here comes the song. Answer, do you read me? The transmission isn't clearly coming through the screen. The silence before the dawn, or is this the calm after the storm? Since I'll never get there, doesn't mean it's not worth looking for. Savior of the earth, I'm not, I am just an astronaut floating in the north. Space is all relative, the math is complicated. Only thing easily done is to be wrong. That's hardly worth the effort! So many things are possible. If you don't know, it's impossible to reach the sun. I don't know if I found my way, but I'm bound to find it some way. If you happen by my way, please return it someday. Things are very calm. They're way too calm. Checking systems, Ansa. Checking systems. Checking systems now. Ansa? Ansa, we have a meow alert. Ansa, we have a meow alert. Looks like we have a burner emergency. A burner emergency. An overload of the T.W system. Whitney, we have a problem. Whitney, we have a problem. Whitney, do you read? Angelica Base, do you read? Angelica Base, she's breaking up. I'm taking her to manual. I'm taking her straight. I'm grabbing the boss. The Basil One system. I'm manually control. I'm taking her under manual control. She's rocking. She's breaking up. Answer, do you read? Whitney Base. Whitney, we have a problem. Whitney, do you read? Ansa, are you there? Checking systems. Ansa, we are here. Tango Delta. The Basil has landed. Yes! Yes, everyone jump! Success! You have achieved it, I have achieved it! Let's do one of those things that you see at NASA where everybody jumps up and is like, yes! High five! All right. Wow, it's amazing. I'm getting readings. The everything is lighting up. Everything. Oh, it's so quiet. Do you hear that? I don't hear it. Oh, I'm without ship noise. That is amazing. Oh, I'm looking forward to exploring and discovering all that Werndoald has to offer us. And I will continue to report back in this universe. I'm going to open the airlock. I'm opening the airlock now. Oh, yes. Oh, that's the smell of air. The smell of fresh air. I can't believe. What are you doing here? Who are you? How did you get in here? The screen door was still on. How? Stay right where you are. You be still. You be still. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the last episode of season 1, or maybe partial season 1, 6 episodes of where are we doing? Yes, transmissions from Werndoald. We have finally arrived on Werndoald. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for watching, thank you all for sticking with me through this. I've had so much fun building a fort in my room and setting off smoke alarms. I thought for sure the fog machine was going to do that, but no, of course, all the matches did, of course, because fog is, fog. That's natural, right? I want to give special thanks to Brian Strickland, Spody, who designed these remarkable sets. Oh, I forgot to turn on the little things for this episode. There they go. Now they're on. So I want to thank Brian Strickland for that. Thank you to all my Patreon subscribers, my top supporters, Leah Papernick, Ricky Coates, Sadie Bowman. Thank you so much. It really helps. This is a fun thing for a lark, but it takes a lot of time, and the more support that you give, the better. Please, for those of you who are Patreon supporters or want to become Patreon supporters, know that in this hiatus of Transmissions from Werndoald, there will be some special transmissions that some special transmissions that will be for Patreon-only subscribers. There's going to be some PSAs, some Nevzat PSAs, also Nevzat letters to my mom from space, as well as a cleaner version of that song that you heard tonight, which which I call WX1, and that song is dedicated to the writer of the Phantom Toll Booth who passed away 2 days ago. It's a huge influence on me as a child. So, yeah, we're gonna take a break. Answer's gonna check the ratings and see if we're ready to sign on for a season 2. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take a little break today. Later today, I get my jab. Everyone, please do take care in these trying times. I know we all feel very optimistic that things are getting better and opening up. But stay safe and keep yourselves psychologically healthy and there we go. Continue to check in with ANSA on Twitter with @ANSAInspace. And because ANSA, the organization, will continue. And feel free to continue to email Nevzat at ansaspace.space. Thank you all again so much. Take care. We'll see you in space. Yay!